Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is what I haven't touched upon just a little bit. This is what if Jack Rosefield was in Ruby, part 3. As we cut a couple days after he got back to Rose's place, as not Ezekiel, sorry, as Jack fade out of consciousness back and forth through that time. Jack raised up from the bed or whatever. As he sits up, as that woke up Ruby because she was just laying right next to him. As she goes and hugs Jack, and she's like, "You all right?" As I'm fine, Ruby. Are you sure? I was told you know about your parents. I'm well aware, Ruby. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. He pats her head as he remembered glimpse of what happened that one night when he went all went berserk on everyone. As the door was cracked at Izuku's room, as he hears a young someone young talking, rattling a cup. As all Izuku could hear, so he's awake. Good. As sorry, I forget her name. I totally forget her name. As Yang calls for her sister and Izuku to get downstairs if he's finally up. As he's sorry, Jack and Ruby come down the stairs. As she looks at Jack as she's still continually stirring her tea. Sit down, Jack. We have a lot to talk about. As Jack's like, who are you? As she taps it, as she puts her spoon down, as she drinks her tea slowly, as she puts it down on the table gently. My my name is I don't know what. Oh, okay, Luna Rosefield, your aunt. Considering my brother's no longer around, I have full custody of you. As Jack gets a suspicious look. Seriously? Not to call you a flat liar, but I'm older than you. There's no way you're my aunt. As, yeah, I guess you want to hear about that. Guess my brother didn't mention his lovely sister to my nephew. Fine, I'll fill you in. Considering my brother seems to trust this family, I'll divulge a little bit of our family history. As you know, our semblance is has to do with someone's blood somewhat. Depend on the person, but it is passed down through the whole family line. But sometimes there's certain side effects. Un- Majority of our family will live longer lives than normal people. Unfortunately for me, mine activated while I was quite young, and I'm aging quite slower than normal. And as the head of the family, I have some responsibilities to fulfill. And wrangling in some members of my family went are getting into mischief. As she as she looks at Jack, I know what you've been up to. Your little escapade in the forest. What, you expect me to let them butcher my family and go off without no repercussions at all if you are my aunt, like you say? As she's I'm not saying there shouldn't be any repercussion for the amount of disrespect they shown my our family, but you can't simply. The methods I have no problem with. Is the reason I have an issue with. You're a dragon faunus. Where is your where is your pride? Where's your respect? Don't think I'm not angry, even though your father is my he's my half brother. He's my brother no matter what. They will pay for what they did. But you shouldn't be going after revenge. You should be going if you go after them, it should be duty. To to uphold the rosefield honor, the house honor. Basically what she's basically saying, they're an old fashioned family, so anything that disrespects the family honor, they don't like that too much. So you're supposed to represent the family a certain way. They're old school. Now, nephew, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna take you back to the main house where I can keep an eye on you. Then I'm going to have someone direct you training to keep that to keep to keep your semblance in control. Clearly, you're lacking control. Period. Let your semblance take over you in such a matter. That won't do. Not for a rosefield. Then, when your skills meet my expectations, you will be attending Academy High or Beacon Academy. I've already I've already set it up with Osmond. While you're there, you're going to be directly under Goodwitch's direct control. You will obey her orders while you're there. Do I make myself clear, nephew? She's been kind of scary, even though she's in a little her body's in a it's basically a little girl form. Well, I've already explained this, but yeah, she's being very forceful about everything. One more thing. Do you have any questions, Jack? Nephew. Dear nephew. As Jack's like, yeah, I have one. Why are you like the main house hasn't never even interacted with you until then? It was your mother's idea. In case of her death and your father's, I have full custody over you until you come uh, of age. Then you get to do what you want to do. But but you're a Rosefield, so you always be welcome at the main house. And before you ask, Jack, you have no say in the matter. You basically obey. That's pretty much the only option you have. I'll let you say your goodbyes. I'll be in the car waiting for you. I'm not sure they have cars there. I really don't know if they have cars. I mean, I've seen them ride vehicles before, so let's say I think they do, but I'm not totally sure. But she's waiting in her vehicle. That's pretty much a car. So you know, as Jack says goodbye to the Ruby family, the father and Rin, not Rin, Yang. As he gets down, he gets over to Ruby. As Jack sees, Ruby kind of like looking down a little bit. As Homo said again, as Jack walks up to Rose, as Jack's like, "What's wrong, Ruby?" As she's like, "Nothing." As Jack raises her chin up, as everyone sees the room, the interaction, as Yang is smiling, as her father's looking at her like confused. As Yang like rolls her eyes at him. She's basically calling him clueless. As as we cut back to the conversation with Rose and Jack Rosefield. I know you, Rose. If you're not jumping around with a bunch of energy, something's bothering you. So what is it? As she's like, I never, I really don't want you to go. I'm so used to you being near me that I never, came up, never popped my head that what will happen if you had to leave. As Jack, gives her a genuine smile that he doesn't do very often. As I might be, we've been parted before. Wasn't that big of a deal? As yeah, but this time it's different, Jack. And you always have a way to contact me, Ruby. So if you ever need to talk, just try not to do it all the time because I think I'm gonna be quite busy. Considering apparently I'll be training. Lovely. Rather be killing Grams, but oh well. What are you doing, Ruby? You're getting awfully close. As she's like, shut up, Jack, just shut up. As she goes into as she kisses Ezekiel in the cheek, as she blushes, as she runs off to her room. Because that's enough courage. She had enough energy just to do that before she starts freaking out in her room. Well, that was an interesting development. I'll have to talk to her about that. As he waves, he says goodbye again, as he's a little confused by Ruby's little outburst and what she did before she left. So there was a guy waiting for him, young I don't know what they would call him, young master. Your aunt is waiting in the car. Understood. As he gets in, as they drive off. Jack, you're lucky that me and Osmond only know of your recent activities. If Atlas got a hold of that information, they wouldn't be too forgiving. I pulled a lot of favors with Osmond to not have you in chains, dear. And also, please forgive the family. They're very eager to see you, finally. Don't know if your father told you the responsibilities of a rosefield, but I'll enlighten you. Your father told. Did your father tell you of what we do? As Jack, nods. Good. I don't have to explain that. As a rosefield, you'll be acquired to attend certain activities with other wealthy families. And like always, you must keep your keep your scales covered at all times. It would be trouble if anyone found out that you were a dragon faunus, considering how there's so few of us left. I can't be touched, but you, on the other hand, it'll be a lot more easy to get to you than me. Of course, I don't make public appearances because I'm, well, a dragon faunus, after all. But if they did find out, they couldn't touch me. Even though Today, I did something that was very stupid, but I've been wanting to meet my dear nephew for the longest time. Jack and Luna, they get to know each other. They're family after all, so they're just Luna's just trying to get to know her nephew. As she noticed that he's very like straight to the point, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. Apparently, as he's going to have to drill to keep his mouth shut sometimes in such events, so he doesn't offend anyone because he has that personality like I don't give a fuck personality. Now, Luna Rosefield does have the sibilance, same as Izuku. Hers is a lot more advanced, and she's a lot super. Yeah, her combat ability is far more superior than Jack's, especially when it comes to speed and strength. She's far more powerful than Jack is. As the car gets to the gate, as the gate opens, as the gate closes, as they get to the main house, as they walk in, as she's like, "Well, this is the manor. This is be your home for now on. I'll have the help send you to your room." Oh, and before I forget, nephew, breakfast is at 5 o'clock. Training at 7. Don't be late. As she walks off to where she has to go inside the manor, let's say she has to do a little bit of paperwork. As one of the maids direct him towards his chambers. As she opens the door, as she closes it, as Ezekiel gets in, as he gets into him, as he looks around, it's a pretty big room. It's big as bed, own bathroom. It has a balcony. So it's really comfy. So as he decides to, it's today, I'm done for the day or the rest because he woke up like during nighttime. So it's pretty close to like 2 o'clock. So he has an early morning apparently. So as he goes to bed, as he falls asleep, as one of the servants open the curtains, as the light shines onto his face, as he like, oh great, this is going to be fun. As as the maid, shakes easy Jack, young master, it's time to get up. Breakfast is already served, waiting for you to arrive. As Izuku gets dressed, as they have, clothes for him. As he gets down to the hall, dinner hall or whatever, as he sits down, eats his breakfast. As he gets done, the maid, gets the tray and goes back to the kitchen to get him all cleaned up and normal maid chores they have to do around the manor. Izuku sees his aunt talking to a black hair woman with a red and a black outfit. As Jack goes over to them, as his aunt waved him over there. As Jack eyes widen, as he sees the person in front of him, as he's like, "You, long time no see, kid." As Jack's like, "So what is Raven doing here?" Didn't I, as your dear aunt paid me quite a bit to train you. So we're going to start immediately. Fair warning, my training is pretty rough. If you survive, that is. As you have Luna, as she's giggling, she finds this hilarious because that's not what really happened. Raven demand to train Izuku. That's as Luna agree to it. As you have Jack, as he gets in a fighting stance, as this sort of train hand to hand for right now with Raven goes pretty much like this, getting his ass handed to him constantly, day by day, day by day. As you have as you have Jack hitting the floor again after one more session with the Raven, as Raven helps him up as she's like making progress, kid. You might get good enough for me to take you seriously. As she grins as she walks away, as Jack's like, I hate that woman. Take a lap as they're in a section of the training area in on the manor property. So they have like a area to do laps around. As she has him taking laps around the area. As she walks over to Luna Rosefield. So Raven, how is he progressing? He's progressing quite faster than I thought. I've noticed you've only been focusing on hand-to-hand combat. What I've seen. Yes. If he doesn't have the stamina for fighting, then what's the point? Every time he loses, I make him do laps, so that increases his lung capacity. It's all part of the plan. You don't need your worried little pretty little head. I'll have your nephew up to par. The boy's skilled. I'll give him that. He's very skilled. He has a killer instinct for fighting, but that look in his eye troubles me. I see it occasionally when we spar. I'm very worried by that as well. I've noticed too. I've watched a couple of your sessions already. It took me by shock the amount of hatred he has towards the White Fang. I don't blame him, of course. I despise them as well, but I'm just worried that his semblance is affecting him emotionally. Because then I'll have to. That's another problem. That's a whole new problem. I don't want to get into. What do you mean by that, Luna? There was one member of the family that his semblance drove him crazy, drove him insane. So we had to put him down. It's a very rare case, but it does happen occasionally. Sometimes it affects the physical body, or it'll affect you emotionally. I saw the scene myself. He massacred them all. I don't care they're dead or not, but I just don't want to see my nephew go down the same path that that he did. So maybe if we caught on to it early on, we could have avoided slaying one of our own. And that's not including putting his lineage in the mix, with him being a dragon faunus. We could be quite aggressive sometimes. I understand, Luna. I'm only saying this as a friend. So don't take offense. If you ever threaten a hair on that boy's head, I'll kill you. I promise his mother would look after him if she ever died. I intend to do that. Anyone harms the boy and they will die. Okay? As she smiles, as Luna nods very well. As we cut to Izuku, as he's running around, as he's passing by, as he sees Raven and his aunt talking. Look at them. They're just talking over there, having a grand old time. Most likely plotting my fucking demise, what they're planning. I gotta stay on guard. That woman's. I swear, if I didn't know any better, they're trying to kill me. As he's running, as he sees a fireball coming at him, as he dodges, as Raven yells, "Gotta keep eye on your surroundings, kid." As as Jack's like a serious look, she throws another one at him. I suggest you keep moving. As that's going on. He would do physical training like this with Raven, and he would do semblance training with his aunt. Some time passed as he has to go for a little session with his aunt. As she's like, "Good, you're here. Now let's continue where we left off yesterday. I want you to continually use your what you call it, Ripper trigger." As Jack, yeah. I want you to keep that on while you're training. This time, I want you to do the training exercises with the Ripper trigger on. I want to see it in action. As she witnessed the blood manipulation in in the trigger mode, quite impressive. To the extent you could do with blood manipulation is quite impressive in that stage. Are you able to do it? Are you able to do that while not in your trigger mode? As Jack's no aunt. Interesting. I see. I guess we're going to have to train you so you're able to use more advanced blood manipulation without having to enter the trigger mode. What I've noticed, it's a makes your semblance a lot more powerful, but also increases your strength and your speed. So first, we need to work on your control of your semblance. So as she gets more into detail in the training with Jack, Jack's not simply training. He's being privately tutored while he's at the manor, because she's not going to have a Rosefield that's stupid. So Jack wasn't never stupid to begin with. He was pretty smart, but he has to uphold the Rosefield name. So yeah, he has to be well educated in random things that he needs to know. As we time skip like about a few months, as Luna walks in the training area, Jack, nephew, come here. As Jack's like, "What is it, Aunt?" "We've been invited. Well, the family's been invited to one of one of those events, like I've told you before, where you have to meet certain people. So yeah, you're gonna have to go to this." As she hands him an envelope, as it's I forget their last name. He basically got invited to Winter and Weiss, one of their family parties they got invited to. So they have to attend too. So Izuku is going to attend as a representation for the Rosefields family. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. As easy as Jack, seriously, a party? Yes, you've been doing good, and maybe you'll meet some. It'd be good to just socialize with other people besides Raven and me. Already have what you'd be wearing for the party, or already picked out and made. It's on the bed. And this event will occur in a couple days, so rest up while you can. And Raven, no more training for a while. I need to keep his face unbruised. Thank you. Why don't you go? Why don't you go and start studying early? Take it easy for the next couple days until the party. As we're gonna stop it there. Yeah, a good spot to leave it off. Now, I'm gonna have Beacon Academy when he enters a little bit. I'm gonna push that a little bit back because I want to do this first. So catch you guys on the next part. All right, see you guys later. Bye.